Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Let's hope this computer has settled down and we don't have any skipping frames. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. I hope this finds you in good health and secure. Thank you for your practice. Liking and subscribing helps expand the Sangha. That's so important. Bodhisattva work, yeah? And today we start on the final Gosho included in this book on Mandala and Gohonzon, Nichiren on Mandala and Gohonzon. And it's called The Real Aspect of the Gohonzon. Should be interesting, yeah? And the little forward here is by me. What follows is no less than Nichiren's full description of the mandala he has created to represent the ceremony in the sky, the Lotus Sutra, and its core principles embodied in personages, as all Buddhist teaching is, and our transmigration into Buddhahood through the invocation of its name, the name of the law, I should say, the law or the process, what I call the engine of life, yes? What in Buddhism is technically Myoho Renge Kyo, the sutra teaching itself with all of its attendant concepts and depths of understanding invoked in each of us individually to enliven, to awaken our already innate Buddhahood, that migration through samsara into the clarity of Buddha, we call Gohonzon. So let's hear how Nichiren talks about that. That name is Myoho Renge Kyo, as I continue to say here, and it manifests our Gohonzon of Buddhahood as defined in the Treasure Tower chapter of the Lotus Sutra. Right? All of these concepts around the same thing. That's also why they can be confusing, depending on the translations, the teacher. A lot of misleading assumptions are made here. But what our endeavor has been throughout the Goshos in this book has been to identify with specificity what the differences are. And they're significant. Okay. So here we go. I have received your offerings to the Gohonzon of 5,000 coins, 1 horse load of polished rice, and fruit. To begin with, this Gohonzon was revealed in the last 8 years of the 50 that the Buddha preached in this world. And in this period of 8 years, in 8 chapters of the Lotus Sutra, from the emerging from the earth chapter through the entrustment chapter, now, during the 3 periods following the Buddha's passing, in the 2,000 years of the former and middle days of the law, not even the term objective of devotion of the essential teaching yet existed. Yet, Nichiren just told us that Gohonzon is, in effect, the last 8 years of Shakyamuni's teaching. What were the last 8 years of Shakyamuni's teaching? The Myoho Renge Kyo. What Shakyamuni taught in the Lotus Sutra, all the concepts, right, from emerging from the earth, from future, in the future, bodhisattvas, you and I, what are we looking for? What are we trying to achieve? The treasure tower. What is the treasure tower? It's the experience of the Dharma. The experience of enlightenment, Buddhahood, Buddha-ness. Why can we all experience that innate Buddha-ness? Because Shakyamuni ain't Buddha. Lifespan chapter. Because Shakyamuni goes, stop seeing me as the Buddha and understand that Buddha is something that I attained, that anyone can attain. You can all do exactly as I have. Here's the instruction. Lotus Sutra. and all the way to the entrustment chapter. Now it's on you guys to do this for yourselves. All of that discussion is about Gohonzon. It's not about a scroll. It's not about a mandala. It's about this mind accessible, this portal of the mind, which is emergent property of our physical reality, busting open a new understanding of all phenomena, a core understanding, a core truth, an essential truth, a truth that goes beyond time. It's simply the way life forms, exists, comes to being, and goes away. This temporal, mind-experienced engine of life. That's Gohonzon. And he just said it in almost those words, right? There's no confusion, not for Nichiren. Not even the discussion of that as a goal. The whole sutra is about the goal of realizing. But the idea that there's a situation in the mind that opens that perceptive door, that wasn't discussed. It was just about awakening it, yes? How then could the mandala of devotion have been revealed, right? That's Nichiren's place. Nichiren creates a scroll with the concepts of the Lotus Sutra, kind of a shorthand for the entire sutra. It is the sutra. In fact, it's the core concepts of the sutra, abridged, if you will, not really abridged because nothing's left out, making out of the sutra a very quickly perceivable gateway to our Gohonzon mind. And he designs that mandala like the treasure tower, right? The treasure tower being the sutra itself, Namu Myoho Renge Kyo down the center, and then the attendants, right? Many treasures, Tahoe Buddha and Shakyamuni seated side by side at the top. The whole formation of the treasure tower chapter is on this scroll, which makes it the focal point, the tool, the perfect mirror, if you will, of our samsaric migration for getting to that Gohonzon. But it is not the Gohonzon. I keep repeating that. Moreover, there was no one who was able to give it expression, to make this mandala. Yet the sutra itself and the commentaries of Tendai and Mialo explicitly state that the great mandala of Gohonzon will appear after 2,000 years have elapsed following the Buddha's extinction, in the first 500 years of the latter day of the law. There it is. That's why it fell on Nichiren to do so. And if you investigate the mandalas of Nichiren at all, you'll find there's a Facebook group, and actually they're on Facebook, but their group is it's a study group of the Nichiren mandala and the mandala in Nichiren's practice, and they, along with other organizations that now I can't find on the internet, things appear and disappear. And there are certain agencies out there that are working really hard to quash any voices other than their own. I'll let you wonder about who that is. But yeah, this group has proven out and shown and assembled in book form. You can go to their website 125 extant Nichiren mandalas. And you can see his arc over time of his development of this tool, this mandala. That alone should convince you that he wasn't trying to capture an object to be the Gohonzon. The object of Gohonzon is your mind. You ever grab your mind? No, it's not an object. It's not a noun. It's a verb. It's a happening. It's a thing constantly moving. Momentum, remember? We have this illusion that we sit on this chair and we're here. But here is an illusion. We're careening through time-space constantly. We're never static. Neither is the Gohonzon. That's why you can't just open the Gohonzon and, aha, there you are, Buddha. Because you're constantly evolving. How are you evolving? The momentum of your karma and your interaction with that karma. Constantly happening. So you constantly have to keep that door open, Gohonzon door open. This scroll offers us the opportunity to use it as a mandala, a calling forth, an invocation of that Gohonzon mind. Makes sense? And he's describing it here. So let's keep going with Nichiren's words, and I'll be quiet for a bit. Can't stop talking. Okay. How wonderful it is that around 200 years and more into the latter day of the law, I was the first to reveal, as the banner of propagation of the Lotus Sutra, this great mandala, that even those such as Nagarjuna and Vasubandhu, Tendai, Myalo, were unable to express. It wasn't their time. This mandala is in no way my invention. Now, this is something that I've repeated over time, many times. Nichiren didn't invent Buddhism. It's not Nichiren's Buddhism that we practice. Here, Nichiren is saying it himself. He didn't invent the mandala, right? What he did is compose a scroll of what Shakyamuni taught his whole life, ultimately, perfectly, as a method of invoking our Buddha nature in the Lotus Sutra, and he captured it in a simple form for us to use as a springboard, right? A springboard to go into our Gohonzon mind and witness, experience Buddha. And he says it right here. This mandala is in no way my invention, because he didn't invent any of the concepts on this scroll. He just made a shorthand of the essential teachings within the Lotus Sutra, which represent all of Shakyamuni's teachings, yeah? All right. It is in the representation of invocation of enlightenment or Buddhahood, Gohonzon, that depicts Shakyamuni Buddha, the world-honored one, seated in the treasure tower, as I told you, of many treasures Buddha, and the Buddhas who were Shakyamuni's emanations, the personages he created in all the expedient means, his teachings, as perfectly as a print matches its woodblock. Thus, the 5 characters of the Lotus Sutra's title are suspended in the center of the treasure tower, Myoho Renge-kyo, while the 4 heavenly kings are seated at the 4 corners of the treasure tower, just as they're represented in the teaching of the Lotus, yes? The treasure, the apparition or the appearance of the treasure tower chapter in the Lotus Sutra, if you read it carefully, you will see that it is basically the blueprint that Nichiren follows to make this scroll. He takes what is a visual teaching and he makes it easily, without reading the whole chapter and understanding all the concepts, immediate. Four leaders of both. And the four Shakyamuni, many treasures, and the four leaders of the bodhisattvas of the earth are side by side at the top. Seated below them are the bodhisattva, including universal worthy and Manjushri, and the voice hearers, the Shravakas, including Shariputra and Madhyayana. And why those names particularly? Because they're names of personages, types of mind. They're not individuals. You see how conceptual everything is? Beside them are the deities of the sun and moon, the devil, negative influence, king of the sixth heaven, right? Dairakutenumao, another concept. The dragon king, another concept. And the Ashura, right? All aspects influencing our mind, karmic representations on this scroll, encapsulating the ceremony in the sky, specifically the treasure tower chapter, the discovery of, the invocation to, right? The mandala, the springboard to the passageway, right? In addition, the wisdom kings, immovable and craving-filled, take up their stations to the south and north. The negative influences, the evil and treacherous Devadatta is on there too. And the ignorant dragon king's daughter form a group. Right? These are all people that were told they would never attain enlightenment, but in the Lotus Sutra, that hindrance is withdrawn. Because as evidence that anyone, no matter what their station or negative causes they've made in their lives, how they've imprinted their karma poorly, can, with the invocation of their Buddha-ness, their Gohonzon mind, redress, influence, turn those causes into life-affirming causes, right? Toward Buddha-ness. Why? Because as we've learned, so basically, Buddhahood is in all of the realms, all of the time. It's a matter of perception. Not only the mother of demon children and the 10 demon daughters who are evil, demons that sap the lives of people throughout the major world system, but also the sun goddess, a great bodhisattva Hachiman. Now, those two are kind of specific to Japan, but that's Nichiren's world, right? So it's no surprise, really, that he would include them. Although, you could question that. That would be probably more Nichiren, obviously, than Shakyamuni, right? They're not specified in the Lotus Sutra, but they're there because Nichiren wants to identify that here in your own country, fellow Japanese are representations that we've had in our culture for centuries that represent these same conceptual ideas. So it's an inclusive kind of thing. It's a little bit specific to Japan, right? So we can acknowledge that. And the 7 reigns of the heavenly deities and the 5 reigns of the earthly deities, who are the guardian deities of Japan. All the various great and small deities, that is, the main deities, are ranged in rows. How then could the remaining subordinate deities be left out? So he doesn't enumerate every single, right? The scroll would have been a mile long. What he's grabbing is these top concepts. There's a lot of Devadattas in the world, but if we list them all, it's just redundant. Devadatta, that's the blueprint, if you will, yeah? So that's what he includes. He's trying to pare this down, make this as efficient as possible. The Treasure Tower chapter states, quote, Shakyamuni Buddha used his transcendental powers to lift all the members of the Great Assembly up into the air. So for those of you who wonder, why do we enshrine our mandala in a butsudan up above our eye level always? Well, there's your answer. Because we elevate our life condition physically so that we keep our posture straight, our throat open, so we can verbalize well and breathe well and have absolutely no physical obstacles in the way of our mind, our ninth consciousness, to come alive, right? That ninth consciousness, you could say, is our Gohonzon. Because it is there which we wrap all the other consciousnesses up and perceive Buddha in all realms. 3,000 realms in a single thought moment. Just thought I'd throw that in again. Don't forget it. Right? Without exception, all these Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, great sages, and in general, all the various beings of the two worlds and the 8 groups who appear in the introduction chapter of the Lotus Sutra dwell in this, says Gohonzon here. That's confusing. Yet it's true. When you're in your Gohonzon mind, you see all of it clearly. But as far as the mandala design goes, they dwell in the mandala. I'm going to have to correct this. I just finished correcting this book, too. I missed that one. In the mandala of the Gohonzon. That's more accurately said. You see how I'm not changing Nichiren's words, I'm clarifying. Because that's the translator who didn't differentiate the difference. And I have to tell you, this translation comes from, that very source, that very influence that wants you to be confused, right? You know what I'm talking about. Illuminated by the light of the 5 characters of the priori law, they display the dignified attributes that they inherently possess. And again, another mistake. This is the objective of our devotion, the Gohonzon. This mandala is the physical representation of our goal. And I might enumerate that too while I'm at it. I'm sorry I have this book out there for you to read it as is. Hopefully you accompany that book with these videos and you can make these corrections for yourself. But I will, by tonight, the corrected text will be up on the website, yeah? Okay. This is what is meant when the sutra says, quote, the true aspect of all phenomena. Right? This scroll isn't the true aspect of all phenomena. It's just a scroll. The activity that makes it a mandala with our minds, that's what creates mandala, opens this clear realization of the engine of life, the Buddhahood. That Gohonzon, that is the true aspect of all phenomena. Not the Gohonzon even, but the Buddha-ness. There's no more filters. You see truth with time, moment to moment to moment, as it really is. Undisguised, uncontrived, unconstructed by your mind of samsara. All of your tendencies and conditions that create your identification of self are put aside. They continue, the engine continues, but your mental perception of what's happening moment to moment to moment is free and clear of that, what shall we call it, influence, right? You wear rose-colored glasses, everything looks different. Not because everything is different, but because you wear rose-colored glasses. Our karma is like that. Our karma forms an idea and constructs an idea for our mind to perceive our identity as self. But all of that is vaporware. It's misleading. It's a delusion. We can operate in that delusion. Many have, many do. But if you want to free yourself from that to see what's actually going on here, how does life actually work? By invoking a different mind, an opening in the same mind that you carry with you all the time, and invoke a different lens by which to experience everything moment to moment, you can suddenly, perfectly, to use the words of the sutras, and completely understand the nature of being. And when one achieves that, then everything else kind of takes its proper place, right? I can use the rose-colored glasses, but I'm not fooled by the rose-colored glasses, unless I choose to. But that wouldn't be awakened, would it? All right. Miao Lo stated, quote, "The true aspect invariably manifests in all phenomena, and all phenomena invariably manifest in the 10 factors." Right? The 10 factors. The 10 factors invariably manifest in the 10 worlds or realms for each realm. And the 10 worlds invariably manifest in life and its environment, the 3,000 realms in a single thought moment of life. And so if we can reach that 3,000 realms in a single thought moment of life through our Buddha realm in each of those, then we see truth. We see the nature of all phenomena, right? It is also stated that the profound principle of the true aspect is the originally inherent Myoho Renge Kyo. Those characters, those symbols, are encapsulations of the totality of the experience of Buddha-ness. But in order to understand those simple 5 characters, one must study a bit, right? Although they function as an invocation as long as you're determined to awaken your life. It may take longer if you don't have the understanding, but it still works. The great teacher Dengyo said, quote, "A single moment of life comprises the 3,000 realms, is itself the Buddha of limitless joy." Isn't that what I just said? This Buddha has forsaken august appearances. In other words, it ain't a man. Therefore, this depiction of the Gohonzon with the mandala shall be called the Great Mandala, never before known. It did not appear until more than 2,220 years after the Buddha's passing. Now, that's an important little statement he just threw at us that kind of unclutters what I've been trying to unclutter. Even in this translation, and I might clarify it further, this depiction, mandala, right, of Gohonzon, mind, shall be called the Great Mandala, never before known. Mandala, the scroll. It's a depiction of Gohonzon, treasure tower, but it is the Great Mandala, just as the Daimoku is the Daimoku, yeah? A woman who makes offerings to such a mandala of Gohonzon invites happiness in this life and in the next. The Gohonzon will be with her and protect her always. Why? Because it's her mind. Like a lantern in the dark, like a strong guide and a porter on a treacherous mountain path, the Gohonzon will guard and protect you. Your enlightened mind will always seek your best outcome. It's a fundamental of Buddhism. Nichiren, which is who he wrote this to, wherever you go. Therefore, you should take every care to ward off slanderers of the law. Don't remain friends with people who belittle your practice. You need to be their exemplar. Don't let them influence you. Therefore, they shouldn't be around. In the same way that you would never wish a courtesan even to come near your home. You don't want a prostitute coming and partying with you and your husband, right? That would be kind of stupid. You're taunting your husband, even though you may not think so. So your friendship with the prostitute, maybe you should reevaluate. That's essentially what he's saying, right? When you're practicing and trying to invoke and keep your Gohonzon mind awake so you can experience Buddha-ness, you don't want people who are hell-bent on destroying that perception, belittling that perception, or offering alternatives to that perception like they know better. They're just going to destroy your confidence, which isn't that one of the primary things we need in order for our invocation to actually manifest? And so on. You understand. Okay. This is the meaning of, quote, thrust aside evil, negative influences, friends, and associate with good companions. How many times have we read in different sutras, what is a good friend? A good friend is somebody who supports your practice of Lotus Sutra Buddhism. It's that simple. Now here comes one of the most important parts of this, of not only this Gosho, but Nichiren's doctrine, Shakyamuni's teaching, but specifically Nichiren's doctrine, because he's nailing down this new methodology that's always been there. Shakyamuni's always made the Lotus Sutra the ultimate tool, the method for self-enlightenment. But for us, in our time, Nichiren has created absolutely foolproof. We're inundated by distractions, right? You've heard me say this countless times. So in our state of confusion and distraction, we absolutely need some focal point to go, hey, over here. Now focus. Once we do that, our minds have full capacity for enlightenment. It's just there waiting to happen. The only thing keeping us from it is all the monkeys. Look over here, pay attention to me. Constant, right? So this is Nichiren's purpose, his advent. And he wants to make sure you understand the difference between Mandala and Gohonzon. So he says the following: never seek this Gohonzon outside yourself. Why would he say that if that scroll were Gohonzon? That scroll is outside yourself, is it not? So come on. How much clearer can he be? Never seek this Gohonzon outside yourself. There's more, but if you just hold on to that sentence, all confusion should just disappear, shouldn't it? Anyone saying different should be suspect. The Gohonzon exists only within the mortal flesh of us ordinary people who embrace the Lotus Sutra and chant Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. There it is. There's the whole schlemiel right there. What exists in this mortal flesh? This apparatus. The emergent mind. That's where Gohonzon is. It's in you, not there. And that Butsudan. That Butsudan holds the great mandala. Very cool. No problem with that. Excellent work. But your enlightenment isn't in that box, my friend. It's only one place, your mind. The body is the place of the ninth consciousness, the unchanging reality that reigns over all of life's function. To be endowed with the 10 worlds means that all 10, without a single exception, exist in one world. Because of this, this is called a mandala, not Gohonzon. Mandala is a Sanskrit word that is translated as perfectly endowed or a cluster of great rewards. This Gohonzon aspect is also found only in the 2 characters for a resolute mind, Namu. Because Namu is an invocation that you make. The scroll isn't making it. It's just got characters on it. When you invoice, remember the voice is Buddha. We've read this in previous sutras. This is an old teaching of Shakyamuni's. The voice, the use of the voice. Why? Because it's so focused, it so focuses our sight, sound, smell, taste, feeling. The voice resonates throughout the entire body to invoke, speak to our own mind. Communication, mouth. The voice is Buddha when you chant Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Because the ninth consciousness can then wrap around all of the others, and that is the Gohonzon instantiation. This is what the sutra means when it says that one can, quote, gain entrance through a resolute mind alone, because that's where the Gohonzon is. I've got some rewriting to do. I thought this was clear, but as I discuss it with you, I see where it's lacking. I want to make it so clear that you can't possibly be misled. This is crucial to understand, yeah? All right. I'm going to continue in another video. I think that's a lot of information to digest. And I promise you I will make those revisions tonight. I can't believe I let it go like this, but hopefully there's enough in there. When I first read it, or recently anyway, I've read it many times, it just made sense. But sometimes when something makes sense to you, you kind of miss things that might trip somebody else up. And I try my best. I chant about it. But I'm still a human, you know. I am fallible. That's why I implore you, if you catch something like that or you have questions about something like that, email me, let me know. You know, we want to make this the best resource it can be for the correct practice of Shakyamuni's Lotus Sutra, with Nichiren as our emissary, our guide, our master, our whatever name you want to give Nichiren. He's the bodhisattva of our modern era. So he's our mentor. Another name. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Thank you so much for your participation, for your efforts, for your dedication. It's awesome. Awesome. I'm so grateful and proud that you guys are practicing. We keep adding new subscribers little by little. It's wonderful to see. Keep your practice strong. Take care of your health. And if you haven't heard yet, the threefoldlotus.com site has an ebook page on it, so that because so many of you are spread throughout the world, I understand shipping costs are crazy for the print books and sometimes even difficult to get in your local currencies and so forth. So just get the ebook. It's cheaper, it's quicker, no shipping problems. It's just a PDF. You could print it out if you want. It's a lot of pages, but however, a lot of people now, I feel old when I say this, but Kindle and heck, people read things on their phone. I don't know how you guys do it, but there it is, okay? Anything I can do to help support your practice, to increase your confidence, to inspire you to every day invoke your Buddha, okay? In the meantime, please take care of your health, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.